I had my cap gun and my pistol, and we shot up the neighborhood. I would speak French because my daddy didn't speak English, and he couldn't read or write. They were trying to take away the language. You got punished if you spoke French. I swept rooms after school to help the family with the bills. His daddy and my grandmother, my brother and sister, he's a fine young man. Well, that was the first year when we could play. It seems like the whole schoolyard was filled with players there, but there was nobody to suit up these people. And so we had to try to use an elimination. It was the fastest ones who made the team. I was fast, I could run, and it was pretty much a piece of cake for me. I came out first. I could run like a deer. My whole high school career, I think I played in 2 games, so I didn't get to play much, and I was ready to play and join my redneck buddies up there. I was looking for a scholarship from somebody, and Tech offered one. George Doherty. He was just a class individual, and he offered me a scholarship right there on the phone, and he says, drive on up to Ruston and we're gonna sign the papers. I said, I'll play for Louisiana Tech. Never heard of it, but I'll be glad to go over there. They invited us to come and visit, and my brother drove me. I don't know what Ruston meant. C'est comme ça que c'était pas bon. Take what you got and be happy about it. I knew that if I was going to continue my education, I better grab this freight train that's going by, which is Louisiana Tech football. And we had a number of players that fell right on in. Terry Bradshaw being number 1, David Lee, Phil Robertson was one. Definitely homesickness. It was just a situation where it was a fish out of water. And then I met my lovely bride, and she helped me make the transition.
He would drive around campus in his little Austin Healey Sprite convertible. And my room was out on the outside of the building that was closest to the highway. So I would see him go by and go by, and I was looking at girls because he was in the section where the girls' dorms were. He called and asked me to go out. Of course I said yes. I love that accent. It was so funny to me, and entertaining, and I really enjoyed being with him, just really listen to him talk. He was cute, his cart was cute, and he had cute language. I mean, it's just a win-win situation for me. From then on, it was pretty neat. We've had a good ride for 50-something years.
There did come a time when I felt comfortable. That's when I realized that, hey, I can play with these rednecks over here. And it kind of fell into place.
They're playing Alabama, and he was having a good game. We saw some of the clips. I just remember seeing some. And he came back to the huddle and said, Phil, throw me the ball, throw it to me, I can get open. So he did get open on the play, and it just went in his hands and bounced out. And he ran back to the huddle, and Phil said, I thought you said you'd be open. He said, I did. I just didn't say I would catch it.
If it happened, it happened. There was no goal that I was trying to reach. It wasn't like that at all.
Washington, number 17, Harry Theophilides was at the helm. And his pass to number 26, Bob Brunet, went all the way for the score.
Well, that was Otto Graham, and then after Otto Graham, it was Vince Lombardi. If you ever want to get a good workout, go to play for Vince Lombardi. Actually, I walked out of training camp with Vince Lombardi. I walked away, I got in my car and drove home. I said, I don't need this stuff. I set out that year and I coached at South Lafourche. I think we won the district, but that was as far as we went. George Allen, I can't say enough about him and for him. George didn't like anybody that was younger than 25. He wanted that experience. Oh yeah, the Redskins treated me pretty good. I can remember walking onto the field, playing in the Super Bowl, the world's greatest players. I can remember walking out on the field and say, this is the Super Bowl, why am I not ready to play? We were distracted, we weren't ready to play. We had gotten our rings the week before. Dallas was a great football team. We hated them. Oh, absolutely. Good guy. He was the original tough guy. He wasn't very fast, he wasn't very big, he wasn't very strong, but boy, he was tough. Just was the toughest cat on our team. Billy Kilmer was a good person. Billy Kilmer handed the ball off to me in a cloud of dust. It just kind of makes you reflect back. 20% of the game is the special teams. Most coaches don't worry about it.
When I was in 3rd grade, I think, you know how you have show and tell. So my dad was my show and tell. So I brought him to school, but it went for the whole school. It wasn't just my class. So from kindergarten to 6th grade, came into the auditorium. And so he brought his uniform, he showed all of this, and then he played a video of Washington beating Dallas, and everyone's cheering, and a lot of people told me hi that day and wanted to come to my house.
It has been fun being able to be the daughters of a NFL player. It's been really cool to be able to say it. And then when I look at clips of him running, I'm like, whoa, he was fast. Like, he was super fast. I mean, he always would tell us he was fast, but when you see it, wow, he was pretty awesome.
It's fun, and then showing it to our kids. Like, my daughter was watching some clips the other day, and she didn't even know that was Papa.
I was blocking on a defensive end, Randy White, played for the Dallas Cowboys. And I went in and tried to block him high, and he rattled my cage a little bit. I was on the 50-yard line. When I tried to get up, I couldn't move. I was paralyzed from the neck down. All I could do was whisper. My chin strap was in my mouth. When you try to talk with a chin strap in your mouth, you can't do it. They brought a stretcher out, put me in the ambulance, and we zipped away to the hospital. And by the time we got there, the feeling had come back to me. And I thank the good Lord that this is the way it ended.
Honestly, I wasn't sure he was alive. I mean, it was the paralysis, of course. But when it happened, I was sitting, both my girls were gone that day to play with their little friends. And I was home alone, sitting in a chair watching the game, and I really thought that the worst had happened, and because he stayed there so long, and nobody would touch him, and it was hard to watch.
And the coaches wanted to know if I wanted to play some more. I said, "Are you crazy? There's no way I wanted to play anymore." My collision with Randy White put me out of the game.
The discipline that it took him to be such an awesome athlete, like he carried that into the restaurant. And so it was business. And, he worked hard and he was there. I've heard him say it so many times, if you want it run correctly, you got to be there all the time. And he was there all the time. So my mom was there a lot. So they were very busy and they were dedicated to it because that's just that mindset.
And it was a great restaurant, sort of like a Cheers. Everybody knew you.
Dad would shuck oysters and just talk to everybody as he was shucking them. And it was a great environment.
And then we had a band and we had Cajun dancing. It was really fun. And we just grew up there.
I didn't want to be the cook or the waitress. I just wanted to be in the back watching the overall picture.
South Louisiana has a really cool culture. Of course, my dad speaks French. He would try to teach us French when we were growing up and younger, and that's fun.
We just love that culture. I just love being around our family down there. It's just unique. The whole pace of things is different. I just love it there. But then we go to my mom's and up in redneck land, as they call it, and it's so fun there, and we just enjoy it so much that I really feel like we're in neutral ground. The Rabs were a big influence on my dad when he was in high school. He's told the story before that he was doing some things as a juvenile that were maybe not going to keep him on a good path, and that they really stepped in and said, look, this is the way you need to go. And not only did they mentor him, but they gave him a literal place to stay. And he lived in their home while they were counselors and teachers at the school, and they just really helped to shape who he is. And they really helped to get him back on track and provide a family when he needed one at that time. And they ended up being in the wedding. I mean, they were just lifelong friends.
John and Mary Rabb, they gave my dad the cute little car that my mom had mentioned and sent him to Tech. They gave him a home, a family support, and we've been friends with them ever since. Although they're not with us anymore, they're greatly missed.
I just see God's hand in it. And it's like nothing happened by accident. They didn't meet at Tech by accident. It was just it was ordained. My dad was he struggled, but he had such perseverance. When I just think about that, he struggled, didn't make the team, but never gave up. He never gave up. Then that opened up doors that he wouldn't have had otherwise. And then he meets my mom, and I don't know, just their story of what they've done together. That restaurant that they did for 38 years. When my mom said she's hands-on, I mean, that is no lie. That woman cleaned tables, bussed tables, served the food, I mean, right alongside my dad. They are true partners. They are true just helpers in everything. And I just look at them as just an awesome example of what a Christian marriage is, and I just couldn't ask for better parents.